Welcome back to the Prepared School Psych podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Ponzuric. Today's episode is number 2 of our 4-part series on executive functioning skills. And if you haven't listened to the first episode yet, I invite you to press pause now and check that one out. Today, we are going to talk about 5 takeaways from my executive functioning focus group. Back in late 2024, I invited educators who subscribed to my newsletter to participate in a multi-month executive functioning focus group. Twice a month, I send out an email with a resource related to executive functioning and ask for feedback. If you listened to part 1 of this 4-part series, you heard about the Executive Functioning Academy Educator Edition that is starting soon. Before starting this academy, with cohorts starting in both July and this fall, I wanted to have this focus group to see exactly where the needs exist. This way, when we get inside the academy, we're able to use resources, strategies, and tools that we've already gotten some feedback on. Over 200 people decided to join us inside this focus group, and I have loved the feedback from this group. So let me go ahead and share 5 takeaways that I have gotten from the executive functioning focus group. Takeaway number 1, many people who work in education face executive skill challenges themselves that significantly impact their lives. One person shared that they felt disorganized and chaotic in their approach to both work and life. They said their house looks like a tornado met a hurricane. Someone else mentioned that they get overwhelmed easily and stressed out, which can cause migraines. They can be organized, but it doesn't come naturally. A third person mentioned that they struggle with both time management and task initiation. And these challenges put them in stressful situations, and these tasks just eventually start piling up, but they could have all been avoided if that task initiation and time management was improved. So does any of this sound familiar to you? As Dr. Amy Miranda mentioned in our first episode, executive functioning is everywhere, which means it can cause struggles everywhere. Takeaway number 2, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. I personally like to use the framework by Doctors Peg Dawson and Richard Guar. They talk about 12 different executive skills. And with 12 different skills, we can all have ones that we're really great in and others that we struggle with. And I asked our executive functioning focus group about their strengths and challenges. And honestly, they were all over the map. I thought maybe working with educators, we might see some specific patterns, but there were absolutely no patterns noted. So what did that tell me for this executive functioning academy that we're starting soon? We need to talk about all 12 of these skills because just focusing on 1 or 2 of them is not going to support all of the different challenges that so many of us different educators face. Takeaway number 3. Sometimes the strategy that might be the most useful is a simple one that we just haven't heard about yet or just haven't been reminded of lately. Do you support executive functioning challenges for students, but struggle to manage your own? As an educator, you're likely constantly juggling deadlines, meetings, and 1,001 responsibilities. It's no surprise that staying organized and focused on your own tasks feels like a never-ending challenge. The Executive Functioning Academy Educator Edition is designed to change that. In just 9 sessions, you'll gain practical strategies to manage your time, reduce stress, and create systems that actually work for you. You'll walk away feeling more confident, organized, and prepared so you can focus on what truly matters. Take more control of your day and finally feel on top of your work with strategies that fit your life. Register today at jennyponzuric.com/EF Academy. That's jennyponzuric.com/EF for Executive Functioning Academy. Or simply click the link in the show notes to learn more. I look forward to seeing you there. Now, let's get back to the episode. In one of the strategy documents I shared about task initiation, one of the executive functioning challenges I personally have, I shared the strategy of asking for help. Asking for help. It seems simple enough. I will tell you, I received so much feedback about that one statement. And it can be used in so many different ways. We talked about asking someone who doesn't struggle in that area of challenge. How do they do it? Ask for help that way. What strategies do you use? We also discussed telling someone who cares about you, I am working on getting things started right away. Could you come into my room at 3:15 on Monday and just poke your head in and go, did you start that task yet? If they care about you, really easy to just jump on in and ask that question. And if you know someone's going to pop their head in and ask, well, for some of us, that's the motivation we need. And this is why our Executive Functioning Academy is going to have lots of strategy ideas, some that we just haven't even thought about, and some we just haven't thought about lately for this specific challenge. Okay, takeaway number 4. Pre-recorded content is really great for a lot of reasons, but being able to ask questions live has its benefits too. Inside the focus group, all of my videos were pre-recorded content. We didn't have any live chats. I obtained feedback through Google Forms instead of having live Q&A sessions. But honestly, this really made me think, like, anyone can watch a video, anyone can read a book and implement strategies. And guess what? There are tons of books out there about time management, organization. However, many of us have actually read those books and we watch those videos, but we're still not doing it consistently. So for many of us, there seems to be another step in this process, some sort of missing link, because just having the knowledge is not enough. And this is one of the reasons why the content for the Executive Functioning Academy will all be live. And yes, we will record it. And we really highly encourage everyone to come live. Because if in that moment you need a bit more clarification, you get to ask. And what you said yesterday made total sense while we were in it, but I was thinking about it more today, and now I have some follow-up questions. We have that moment to ask those questions. All right, takeaway number 5. Accountability is key. So what does the term accountability mean? How am I using that? Literally being accountable for what you said you were going to do. That's what accountability is, right? And so many of us make plans for ourselves. I'm going to put that phone down and I'm going to stop scrolling on social media and I'm going to get this report done. Or I'm going to get into that classroom today. I'm going to get that observation. I've been putting it off. I'm going to get it done today. But we don't do it. We say we will do it tomorrow. Many of us, in contrast, are really great when we promise something to someone else. I honestly use that as a strategy for myself. If I tell a parent, I'm going to get you that report before this meeting starts, guess what? I'm going to get that report to them before the meeting starts. And even if it's not legally required, I still try and say it as often as possible because then I'm going to get that report done before that meeting. And I'm not going to be finishing it up 5 minutes before that meeting starts. It's a strategy that I use because integrity is important. And if I tell you I'm going to do something, I want you to know you can trust my word. But if I make a promise to myself, who's going to know if I follow it or not? So we're going to talk about ways to incorporate accountability during our live sessions, all 9 of them, in that Executive Functioning Academy. How do we follow through on promises we make to ourselves? So if any of this type of support seems like it might be helpful for you to implement and sustain the implementation of strategies for your executive functioning challenges, then I encourage you to check out our Executive Functioning Academy information on the website. So the Academy is officially called the Executive Functioning Academy Educator Edition. And you can find that right now on my website, jennyponzuric.com/EF Academy. You can choose between our summer or our fall cohorts, and hopefully we can work on success for this upcoming school year. That's my plan. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of the series about executive functioning and ways to support you and those adults on campus who struggle with these skills. In the next episode of the series, Dr. Amy Miranda will return and we will delve deeper into the piece about accountability, following through on promises we make to others and ourselves. Until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
That concludes another episode of the Prepared School Psych podcast. And I hope today's discussion equipped you not just with knowledge, but also the confidence to take action. Remember, every conversation we have and every resource we share builds a bridge towards a more inclusive and empowering learning landscape for our students. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast for more insightful conversations and resources to support your journey. Share this podcast with colleagues. We would love it if you would also rate and review the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Just a reminder, everyone, the information and advice provided in this podcast are for guidance purposes only, and all listeners are required to follow both federal and state law and their own school district guidelines and policies. Thank you.